Everyone, welcome to Cyberskillfarm. I'm with Kenneth and Ray. Hello, guys.
Hi,
Hello.
hello.
Hello, guys.
If you get value from videos like this and want more, smash that like button and subscribe to get updates on the new content. If there's specific topic or skill in IT you want to learn, comment below and we'll check it out.
Hello.
Kenneth is SRE team lead, and I believe he is also an author. Uh,
Mm,
yeah, he has a book.
Yeah.
I researched about him. So we will have
Yeah.
a brief overview about his career story. So, Kenneth, how did you start your career in IT or career in general?
My career first. My first job was systems engineer. Initially I wanted to become a network engineer after graduating from college because that's I enjoyed that class from college. So I'm looking for a job for network engineer. And then one of my college friends said, "Hey, this company offered me something, systems engineer. They were asking for network skills like that." And he said, "I'm not taking this job because I have another offer. So I will recommend you for this job." So I said, "Yeah, sure, sure." I have an interview. I was expecting to have a lot of network related jobs, switching, routing, like that. So in the end, yeah, I passed that interview for that one. But at the same time, since it's a small company, relatively medium-sized company, they required me to do more than just that. So they required me to administer their systems, the Linux systems, physical servers, cloud. Cloud was very new that time, 2013. So not much company are moving to the cloud. So um, I learned there from I learned that how to manage servers, install servers on the rack on the data center itself. So configure the network. So after that, I have when it's time to move on, I have an option. Do I want to continue as a network engineer or be a system admin? System admin at that time, no, not cloud admin. And then I enjoyed the system admin part. So I said, yeah, on my next job, I want to be a full-time system admin. So that kicked off my career for first Linux servers and then cloud, AWS. And here we are on my job at Samsung Research Philippines, working as a cloud architect.
Yeah, you mentioned a while ago that you enjoyed tech class. So, what motivated you to pursue or change your career? So, yeah.
Um, Basically, during that time, I enjoyed both using computers. I enjoyed using and then I enjoyed networks. But then when I saw what the big field of IT and ECE, big field of, and then I wanted to be an IT, and then I'm lucky for my first job. So I guess this one is a good job. I enjoy it working with systems. So I guess I will look for jobs that will make me pursue for this one. I want to improve. I want to be a very good at what I do as a Linux admin by that time. So I guess as the career progressed, the technology is shifting to the cloud. I also shifted my focus on having the cloud because also the companies that I'm working on are moving also to that to the cloud technology. So I went with the flow with that on furthering my career.
Yes, we all know that clouds are using different systems, and this also help you progress in your career. And then, were there people who help you along the way in your career?
Initially, initially none, because when I was in my first job, it's basically on your own. The manager is not very, the manager was not very strict, because he knows we are fresh grad by that time, and then we need to learn a lot. Basically, I think for about 6 months, I was just reading books not contributing much to the company. They gave me a test bench, do everything here. So, and I'm not sure if everybody has that opportunity. So basically, I learn to break things. I learn how to fix things. I guess you learn from the experience itself for that one, and I'm very fortunate to have that experience. And then on my next career jobs, on my next companies, those are larger companies wherein the colleagues are better. Um, of course, some colleagues are very helpful for you. Hey, I have this one. Let's try this one. I do want to have your own website like that. So my one of my colleagues, hey, let's set this up. Hey, do you want to explore cloud? So that's good for the colleagues itself. So I'm very thankful for those people who helped me with that one. But
Yes.
mostly, of course, you need to a lot of learning from your side.
Yes, I can see that you are self-motivated, yeah, and you're eager to learn something
Yes.
out of the box, reading books, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
what career positions did you experience so far? So how were you able to transition from one to the other? But you mentioned a while ago that you're purely a system admin, or did you transition? Or,
Yeah. From the first ones that I have encountered, as an ECE major for that one, um, I experienced, of course, first the networking side for managing Cisco routers, TP links, and then those ones. I experienced also broadcasting cable networks, switching from the satellite frequencies like that. So I also have experience on that. And then the first experience I have for Linux systems, installing the servers in the data centers like that, installing the OS, installing applications, and configuring those until for the public internet to see. So after that, since most jobs, my second job for that one is not very particular for all in one. We say it's not all in one, so it's a particular set of skills they needed. So I said, I want to be a Linux admin, so I had the job for Linux admin, and then for that job, I have we manage remotely the servers from data centers in, for example, Rackspace in the US, like that. So we manage those servers, and then the next movement I have is to have virtualized environments, VMware. So that's close to the cloud, and a little bit of experience with the cloud also after that. So I was able to learn how virtual machines work, the networks into virtual machines, and then I transitioned to the cloud because most of we also have just a few clouds, few cloud infrastructure back then, and then on my next job, I applied for a purely cloud-based infrastructure position. So during that time, I researched beforehand, even before, even if it's not part of my current job, like how I transitioned to the cloud. It's not being the cloud is not my main job back then. So, um, doing my daytime job, I tried to learn as much as the cloud as I can possible. I created test accounts. I practice a lot. I tried to replicate what I need to do. So when the time came for a new job for being a cloud architect, I was prepared for the interview, both technically, and even in experience for that.
yes, it's amazing how are you able to transition to cloud through self-motivate and hard work for that. Yeah.
Yes, I guess it's part of. I guess it's part of something that hey, I'm not doing something here.
Yes.
If the industry is moving here and I'm interested in, if you are interested, you will be motivated to do the learning for yourself.
Yes. Then what common problems or did you encounter problems or challenges in your work? So if it's okay to cite some.
Yeah, a lot actually, a lot. So we're doing in IT here, of course. If we fail something, if the production fails, obviously there will be a problem. The public will know, the company will know, like that. So one of our problems back then, I think that was a DDoS attack for that one. So on our data center. So we what we did was blacklist that IP. So we call black hole IP. So the traffic will be get the traffic from that IP will be dumped elsewhere, not responded. And then another one was when we have production system. Basically, we're going to launch the production, and we're not expecting so much traffic, so it crashed. Thankfully, after a few hours meddling, we were able to configure the correct way of scaling it, because of course it was working. Load testing, it was working, but public traffic is unpredictable, really. So you need a different type of strategy to make that work, the scaling work for that one, and how you would deploy your application on production. So those were the problems I had. Yeah, I guess those are examples.
Yes. Then I saw in your background that you have a lot of knowledge in Docker, Kubernetes, or there are a lot to learn in IT. There are storage, VMware, the networking side. So are you leaning towards the generalist side, or do you prefer to become a specialist?
I think, I guess you can say I'm leaning towards the generalist side, because I prefer the word, how can you say this? I have a little bit of knowledge for everything. No, it's not something, it's it's something about yourself that you want to learn these things, but not very deep. And then if you want to learn it, at least you have an overview on what to do, on what strategy you really make to study. So for example, beforehand, I had just a overview of the cloud, but I don't have an in-depth experience for that. And then, but at least I want to know how the cloud works. So after learning the basics, you can after learning the basics of something, you can specialize if you want. So, but I prefer knowing a bit much of everything. So when time comes, at least you know something about these things.
Okay. So if you can start from scratch today in IT, what advice would you give to yourself and for those who are starting in their career?
Starting from scratch, hopefully you have luck like I have to have an environment where you can do everything. If not, I guess you have to be focused on the basics, because even if you are a cloud engineer, you still need to know how servers work. Even if everything in cloud technology, it says, hey, you don't have to learn about networking, you don't have to learn about how firewalls work, routers, even the VMs, you don't know, even Linux, you don't have to know Linux, you just deploy your code. For me, yes, that's fine, cloud works like that, but you need to know the basics. You need to know what Linux is, you need to know how what the operating system is, how virtual machines work, the basics of networking. You need to have a solid basics on those, because after that, it will be built up from the ground up. uh, of course, for example, how do cloud servers work? Because they have underlying servers on them, so at least you need to know that
Servers.
what you are working it. So because I came from that perspective, I think that's the best way to learn. You need to know under the hood. Yeah. And if I may add, I think learn how to code, maybe. Yeah, learn how to code,
Good. Yeah.
because
Okay. So what do you think the top three skills would you recommend for those starting their career?
if you're starting your career, other than what I said, learning, having a solid understanding on the basics of computing in IT. I guess if you are in the technology right now, in the cloud cloud space right now, you need to learn the current technologies that are um, mostly in demand. I think those are the DevOps tools, like DevOps programs, tools like Kubernetes. Of course, if you learn Kubernetes, you need to know what Docker is, you need to know what container is. You know, you need to learn what the virtual machine and the nodes for the Kubernetes. Another thing you need to learn is Terraform, I guess, because everything is in code now. So even your infrastructure in the cloud is in code. So you need to learn CloudFormation or Terraform for that one, either of those things. And then if you want to learn how to code, I guess Python or Node.js. Those are good languages, are popular today.
Okay, thank you for your recommendation, and I know that it will empower those who are watching in our blog, Cyberskillfarm. So, Ray, if you have questions, you have question for Kenneth.
Sure. Hi, Kenneth.
Hello, hello.
So, it's more of a question on the feeling, on what feels like to be an IT professional. So, I don't know if you can relate to this, especially when learning something new or if there's a new project. There are times when you need to start something. It's like jumping out of an airplane, and you still you're at that moment in time where you need to make that parachute before you hit the ground. So I don't know if you can relate to that experience. If you have some experience like that when you're during in your professional career, can you share some of it?
Jumping into a career, I guess when I'm transitioning from traditional data centers, VMware,
Yeah.
servers with racks, and then transitioning to a purely cloud-based work, because by that time I'm not really that much confident on how I will fare well with the cloud technologies, especially all the studying I have. We're studying those are theoretical and what I have practiced, and a few basics from the current situation of my work. So if I transition to another job, I need to impress the interviewers and I need to show my skills, of course. But I guess I never hesitated to jump for that, because I don't know. I haven't met something that, hey, I want to do this. I'm afraid to do it. No, no. In terms, if it's like that, if it's something like, what's my motivation for that one? I'm seeing the end of the line. I'm trying to, hey, this is the cloud. This is the new one. This is the new technology. And then someone demoed it to me. Hey, this is good. I like to learn more. If I said that to myself, I like to learn more, and I like this. If I like something, even though I'm not an expert yet on that, I will not hesitate to jump on it.
Nice. So when you started, for example, you came from a VMware infrastructure related career and going into the cloud, and you passed the interview and you're there. So what was the experience like for the first? You mentioned in your first career you were able to study for 6 months, something like that, and they're
Yeah,
able to
yeah,
give you time. How about
yes,
during the time when you transitioned from the infrastructure to the cloud? What was your experience like in the first 3 to 6 months?
yeah. Lucky again.
Lucky again.
Yeah, lucky again. I don't know how. When I was there, the team was, when I was in Samsung, for example, the team was expanding, and they were hiring because they are preparing for something. And usually, when companies are hiring, they're already here, and then you need to jump right in the middle of it. So when I was in Samsung, they hired me because they're preparing for something. They need somebody to be prepared, um, for the release, for example, 3 months from now. So by that time, I was able to acclimatize to a new culture, and then it gave me 2 to 3 months also to solidify my learning and prepare. And they said, hey, you need to learn this. Hey, you need to learn this. And then this is what we need also. So during that time, I have to work with my colleagues and to basically skill up everything from your
Yeah.
side. So I guess lucky.
Lucky. Lucky and persistent. That's really
Yes,
great. And
yes,
lastly,
persistence.
when it comes to the hiring and the interview process, what role was there a role when it comes to, of course there was training and experience, but at what percentage, at what point was there a role when it comes to certification, and as well as probably side projects that you may place somewhere and interviews can see? Did those things have a role when you were able to get into the cloud career or your first career?
Yeah, of course. Um, Tip lang, just a few tips which we're going to an interview, read the job description and prepare for it. Somebody, when I interview somebody, they just, hey, I just read that yesterday you have an opening and then tomorrow we have an interview. No, not like that. when you have an
Yeah.
interview, you have to prepare for it because
Yeah.
people don't know what you were doing beforehand. Your resume does not says everything. So of course, answering all the questions by the interviewers, that's a given. You have to prepare for that. So after that, you have to show certifications that those are good points because um, they will know what you're saying is not just a pile of crap. You know, everybody can say those things. So I guess companies are trying looking for maybe a proof, maybe
A
a certificate
baseline.
is not
A
a proof.
baseline.
Yes, a certificate is not a proof of your experience or your skills, but at least it's a baseline of, hey, I am knowledgeable in this one. I am knowledgeable enough to be certified on this career. Another one for portfolio. I guess if you're a developer, if you're a programmer, develop apps, I think it's very solid. People, our hiring managers will want to see that. What did you do? Did you create your own application? Did you create your own mobile app? Did you create your own website? Like those. So if you have those are good points because the works speaks louder than what you're saying to them, right? So I guess that's also part of the big points for you in the interview. I have my own. I have my own website for that one. I activated it before, just before the interview, just to impress these interviewers. You know, the interview is the part where you need to impress everybody to get the job, and then when you get the job, just do your best to do the job that you want.
So thanks again, Kenneth, for sharing. And I think that's it for me. Grace?
Hello, Kenneth. I believe you have a book or you have a gig. Also, you can promote here the
Oh,
gig, whatever gig or
yeah,
books you have.
yeah. I have a book for DevOps professionals. So if you want to have a certification as a DevOps engineer, DevOps certified DevOps engineer professional, AWS, you can um, you can purchase our book from Tutorials Dojo, portal.tutorialsdojo.com. We also have courses there. I am a contributor for our practice exam. So if you are reviewing for your certification exam in GCP, Azure, or AWS, I think all AWS exams we have there for solutions architect, um, DevOps, SysOps, data analytics. We have there. I'm a contributing author, so it's made by Filipinos for the whole world to see. We have in Udemy also if you want to buy our courses there.
So, thank you, Kenneth, for being part of the Cyber Skill Farm today. So, bye
Okay,
bye.
that's it,
Thank you
Yeah.
also
guys.
for having me.
Yeah. And thanks so much, Kenneth. And you're always welcome here. And remember, guys, if you want to learn DevOps, Kenneth has a book, and they have
Yeah.
great courses in Tutorials Dojo here in
Yes.
Cyber Skill Farm,
Empowering
empowering
IT
IT
professionals.
professionals.